Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the DNX channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make unique ambient melodies for somebody like WHEEZY. As usual, I'm going to go through and break down a recent sample that I made and just show everything I did to make it, from the midis, the sounds, the effects, my thought process. The sample in particular is from a free sample pack that I just dropped with Mike Fuego called Echoes. It's a free sample pack. It has 12 samples similar to the one that I'm going to be breaking down, kind of in the style of like WHEEZY, Palace, Q Beats. It's really ambient, really dark, really unique. But like I said, I'll leave a link down in the description for that. Go check it out. Anyways, like I said, I'm going to go in and break one of them down. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the DNX channel, and let's get right into it. Alright, so as you can see, I have the final sample pulled up here. We're sitting at 136 BPM. For WHEEZY melodies, you can really, doesn't really matter what BPM you're in. He goes anywhere from like 110 BPM to like 160. Final sample is in F minor, but everything that I'm going to be showing you guys is in G sharp minor, because as you can see at the very end, I pitched it down from G sharp to F minor, 3 semitones right there. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just play the final sample so you can hear how it sounds, and then as usual, we'll go through and just break down everything I did to make it. Alright, so the first thing I did for this sample is I took this starter that Mike sent through. Like I said, this is a collab loop. I took the starter, and as you can see, it was at 144 BPM. I just brought it down to 136 BPM. I'll go ahead and play it so you can hear how it sounds. It already sounds dope, but I wanted to make it more unique, so I'll show you what I did to kind of flip it. But here's what it sounded like originally. Yeah, as you can hear, really ambient already. So what I did is I took a part that I liked from the starter and I just chopped it out, and then I pitched it up 4 semitones and then put it to its own mixer track. Here's what it sounds like pitched up without the effects. As you'll see, I just added a bunch of effects, and then this is what it sounds like with all of that. And then I have a second part over here where it's half-timed. The first part is really bouncy. The second part is more ambient. For the effects, I added this low-hi that kind of makes it sound more vintage, takes out some of the lows, some of the highs, and then I added halftime with this preset right here, the quarter, loop, and the mode on 1.5. And what that does basically is it takes the original sample and it pitches it down 5 semitones and then puts it into a triplet like time. I'll play it without it so you can hear how it sounds. As you can hear, the pitch is higher and it sounds exactly like the original, but with it on, it kind of changes the timing and makes it more of a triplet bounce. And then I added, like I said, the halftime for the second part right here, and then Soothe 2 just to take out some of the low end, and then an EQ to take out some of the frequencies I didn't want in the low mids. Alright, so the next thing I did once I had that kind of flipped how I wanted it is I added a flute. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even remember exactly what I did, but I'm pretty sure I took one of these flutes right here. It's from a contact bank called 0G Eastern Flutes or something like that. But anyway, I took a wave file from that contact bank and I brought it in and I just chopped it up, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is what it sounds like when I chopped it up. Basically what I did is I took the flute and then I opened up Fruity Slicer, and then I just dropped it in, made sure to turn the attack up, and then I messed with the pitch to make sure the pitch matched the pitch of the rest of the sample. And then you go here and you go to beat, turn it to beat, and what it'll do is it'll chop it up basically for you, and then you can go into the piano roll and mess around with the different chops. And then I reversed it and I added a bunch of effects to it. So I have Sketch Cassette just to add some wow and flutter, this portal preset, apparition, and then shaper box to make the sound go in and out as the sample plays. But this is what it sounds like with all the effects and everything that I did to it. Yeah, really ambient, like really unique sounding. You can still tell it's a flute, but it almost acts as like a pad. Then I have the second part right here where I chopped it up even more and just broke it into little parts, and it sounds a little bit different. Once I had the flute and the starter, the next thing that I did is I added this pad from the Nebula Oneshot pack that I dropped recently with 2. I'll go ahead and leave a link down in the description for that if you're interested as well. But yeah, it has a bunch of sounds as you can see, and I went into this bell tones and pads folder and I pulled up this pad, this gas pad right here. This is what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like, just raw, and then added an EQ and a Valhalla Supermassive just for some reverb and delay. And then I added these chords right here. Like I said, we're in G sharp minor, so I started with G sharp, A sharp, and then F sharp. Just a simple chord right there. Another chord for the second part right here, D sharp again with an octave below, and then G sharp. And then copied that over and then just changed the second chord right here from D sharp, G sharp, D sharp to D sharp, D sharp, B. As you can tell, I don't know music theory, but this sounded good to me. I'll go ahead and play how it sounds just by itself. What I did once I had that is I just copied it over. So the next thing that I did is I took a bell tone from the same Oneshot kit and I just added it at the beginning of every 4 bars at the root note like this. This is what it sounds like. And for the effects, I just added an EQ, as you can see, nothing too crazy. And then lastly, I have a bass from the same Oneshot kit. It's this Bracken bass right here. So this is what it sounds like. For effects, I just have Decapitator on it for a little bit more distortion. So once I had all the sounds together that I wanted, as you can see, I arranged it. But I took all the sounds and I have this first part where the starter is playing without the halftime, and then I have the second part right here where the starter gets halftimed. I use the flute chops right here, and then I bring in that pad, and then the second part where I get rid of the pad and just let the starter play with the halftime, and then bring it back towards the end with the pad. And then as you can see, I copied over the same pattern over here and I just took out the bass, and then as usual I put these stems at the end of the sample. And the final thing that I did once I had everything arranged is I just rendered it out, brought it back in, and then I put it to its own mixer track. I pitched it down 3 semitones. So like I said, we went from G sharp to F, and then I made sure to take the bass and do the same thing. Whenever I export a sample, when I'm done, I don't export the bass. I'll turn the bass off, export everything, and then turn it back on, because when you mess around with the pitch and you have the bass already in there, it just makes it sound really weird. Like if you're pitching bass up or pitching it down, it just can get really muddy or really weird sounding. So like I said, we went from G sharp to F, and then I put this to its own mixer track, put virtual tape machine on it, soothe to take out some of the low mids. After the soothe, I put an EQ to take out some of the unwanted frequencies in the low mids and the mids, and then I added a mid side EQ to kind of boost some of the sides and make it sound a little bit wider. Other than that, that was pretty much it for the sample. I think I added some drums just to kind of mess around and make sure the sample was good. Hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you took something away. With this one, I just got really creative with the effects, and like with the flute, I just added a bunch of effects. With the starter, I wanted to make it a little bit more unique and not just take the starter for what it is. I'll leave a link down in the description for the free sample pack and for the Oneshot kit. Don't forget to subscribe to the DNX channel, and yeah, see you guys in the next one.